Sarvastartu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarvasad Buddhimapnotu Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu Hari Om Tat Sat. Friends, I am honored to come over here, and I really like to thank to those who have taken part in inviting me, arranging all this thing over here. So I always wonder, when Swami Vivekananda first came in 1893, only one Hindu in his whole America. There's no other people. So obviously, and now, so millions of Hindus in this country. And so many, as I was going through that one group of people, they are keeping connection with all the big Hindu temples. More than 200 Hindu temples are all over America. Big temples like this. Now small ashramas like us, they are not, that is not there. If it is in that list, it will be so many again. 200 Hindu temples and such big organizations are coming up. So naturally, slowly, all over, this Hinduism is coming. Swami Vivekananda once said, in 1897, after 50 years, India will be liberated. India will get freedom from the Britishers' rule. Exactly 1947, India got freedom. When he said, time will come, India will conquer the whole world, but not with the power of sword or fire, but with the power of spirit. That is the ideology, the philosophy, and that is Hinduism. Now slowly people are getting interested into this, into Hindu philosophy. So what is this Hindu philosophy? The Hindu philosophy can answer all the questions, metaphysical questions, everything they can answer, except two. They don't have any answer. The Hinduism are not having any answer. First, who is the founder of Hinduism? Hindus do not know. And second, when this Hinduism started, Hindus do not know. So they say it is eternal, Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal. And this eternal, this conception means, they say when the human being started feeling that they are human beings, they are separated from others, Dharma started. And that way, slowly, slowly it progressed. In the Western world, they are giving a calculation that the Rig Veda, the first spiritual book of the world, 10,000 years before. 10,000 years before Christ. That means now 12,000 years. So naturally, before 12,000 years, a book that was written by some of the best minds, the Rig Veda, where two things are always, we were studying the Rig Veda, we found two things are always, they're going on promoting. One, for the betterment of the mundane world and the development of the spiritual life. So these two are constantly flowing together. Inspiration is always there in the Veda. And you will wonder, they are asking the girls, you are being educated, now you are going to have your own family, and again the boy, you are now educated, you will go and marry and settle. So you must have this type of responsibilities, dharma. This dharma that they are giving, that the human society should have this type of lifestyle. And again they are telling, after all this thing, you should know the ultimate thing is the realization of the self. Unless and until you know that self, the Brahman, the Atman, you can never get the eternal peace, the happiness. And though you should, utilizing your knowledge, earn money and fulfill your desire, but know it for sure, these desires are bondages. So time will come, give up all desires and be free. So slowly, slowly, that was, in the society it came, the 4 divisions. The lakshas, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So how wonderfully they developed the human society. First is the dharma. The moment we talk about the dharma, moment we talk about the religion, immediately we think about some rituals. No. It's the responsibilities. Unless and until you have the responsibilities, you know what you are going to do, you cannot actually make your life fulfilled and also society's life. Friends, it's a vast subject. I will just touch the points. Hinduism, before and after Vivekananda. This Hinduism, the name came from a very peculiar way. Though we are now known as Hindus, and our ism, our philosophy is Hinduism, but it came just for few people, the Persians, who used to come from Parasha to India, used to cross the Sindhu river, and in their pronunciation, Sindhu, Sa became Ha. So Sindhu became Hindu. So obviously the other part of that river became Hindustan. Sthana means the place. The people living over there, Hindus, and their religion, Hinduism. Swami Vivekananda said, no. We should have another thing, Vedantism. Because our whole thing is depending on the Veda. Veda is knowledge. Now the first question, who created this Hinduism? Who is the founder of Hinduism? Jainism, Buddhism, Christianity, all we know there's a founder. But about the Hinduism, who is the founder? We do not know because it's a research work. They went on researching to find out the truth. What is the truth? Who is the creator? And what is this creation? And what is the relation between the creator and the creation? These 3 questions. We started thinking about it. A group of people, they completely dedicated onto this, and they went inside, and what they will do, how they will develop. So they started thinking about themselves. And in the Upanishad they say, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana nirveda maya kritak kritena. After the pariksha, after the examination of all these things, they were dissatisfied. Why? Each and everything in this world that we see are temporary. Everything is changing. So they turn, no, there must be something permanent. What is that permanent one? So turn their mind within. They saw this body, it is changing. The mind, it is changing. In the morning I was very happy, and then something happened, I'm unhappy. Mind is always changing. Only one thing is not changing, that is consciousness. Is always, I was a small little boy, I am a grown-up, and now I am going to be old, and I will die, and I will take another birth. All these constant changes. But who is observing the changes? That consciousness. So they came to this conclusion, there is a consciousness all pervading everywhere. And that consciousness they have given the name Brahman, not Brahma, not Brahmana, Brahman. This Brahman means all pervading consciousness. And it is completely free. There is no strict rule that if you like to be a Hindu, you have to follow this. No, you're free. Because of that freedom, the freedom of thought, so many varieties of paths came. Goal is the same, but the varieties of paths came. Here in this temple, Lord Vishnu, he is the supreme deity over here. And this is the approach of the devotion, because we have the love, so that love, that devotion channelized for the realization of the truth. What is that truth? They gave the name Vishnu. What is this Vishnu? That is Vistareti Vishnu. Vistar, everywhere pervading. That is Vishnu. Vistar eti Vishnu. And that Lord Vishnu is creating. One group of people, they are also Hindus, they say Brahman created this. Out of what? Out of himself. Because for every creation, two things are necessary. Intellectual cause, material cause. When the Brahman was creating this, how he created? Out of itself. He thought, and in the word they have used, Chiyate Brahma. Chiyate means he thought, he meditated. And when we think, we naturally, something is, we are creating. So Brahman created this universe, Tat Sistva Tadiva Anupravishat, it said. When he created the whole universe, the material cause is that Brahman, and also the intellectual cause, that Brahman. This is one. Then another group, they said Vishnu is the creator. How he created? Now if you know that story, the Vishnu is lying on the Shir Samudra, that's the ocean of the nectar, or the milk, or the water. And then how he is floating, how he is there in the Vishnu? On the snake. Why this? Symbolic. Water is not having any form. Any form, anything that you keep, it takes that form. In a glass they have kept the water, it has taken the form of the glass. So water is the symbol of all-pervading thing. So that Hindus, they gave that water. Over that, a big snake. What is the symbol of the snake? The yoga. The Vishnu, through the yoga, he is there. And the Vishnu, all-pervading God, but we cannot conceive that all-pervadingness. If you close your eyes and try to meditate on everything, all-pervasiveness, you won't be able to. So they give the form Vishnu, Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadani. The Shankha giving the call to the soul, come, come, come. Padma, the devotion, like that. Now this Vishnu, he is creating. How he is creating? Again, the story goes, from his navel, it comes the lotus, over that Brahma. And who is this Brahma? The four faces Brahma. Rig, Sham, Yaju, Atharva, all the Vedas. And the color of the Brahma, red. Why? He is creating energy. When you are working, it is all that like that. So Vishnu, out of himself, created that. And then again, Madhukaitava, all these demons, are the good and bad, both are coming out of the same God. There's a devotional way it goes to that. Another form, some type of people, they are very calm and quiet and composed type. So they meditate. And when they meditate, what do? They withdraw their senses from the sense objects. That's all. Where they are meditating? On their mind. And what is that mind? Constant flow of thoughts. And how to concentrate or control that mind? In the Bhagavad Gita, a person like Vishnu, a person like Arjuna, he said it is impossible to control the mind. You ask me to do anything, I can do that. But to control the mind is impossible. Afterwards, Lord Buddha also said, those who can conquer the whole world, they are not the heroes. He is the hero who can conquer his own mind. We say, my mind, but the mind is not under my control. Had it been under my control, I would have been so happy. Closing the mind, well, now you should be happy, I would have been happy. There is no control on the mind. So that these are another process to control the mind. How? Cut the supply line. Why the mind is so disturbed? Because of the information. It's going on feeding to cut the supply line. What is the supply line? All the objects. Rupa, Rasha, Shabda, Sparsha, Gandha. These are the objects. When that is detached, what the mind will do? Our eyes are going but not coming back with the information. The mind is tranquil. Sound is going on but I am not listening. Mind is controlled. That way, so the yoga. And finally came karma. Why? Because we are active. In the Bhagavad Gita itself, the 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, all these chapters are dedicated only for karma. Why? The nature will provoke you to do the karma. You cannot stop like that. You think that I am going to renounce. You cannot do that. One young lady wanted to renounce this old world and she told, can you please, and she is in America and studied over here, can you please give me an address where I can go and stay there and quietly meditate? And I can. There are thousands of addresses are there. But you practice over here itself for 7 days. Without your iPhone, without your computer, without the book, without the friends, 7 days if you can really live alone, then come and tell me. Controlling the mind is so difficult because of the karma. So this karma. So now the 4 paths. The Hindus are all different way they are practicing. So many varieties. No problem was there. One after another. Great thinkers are coming and they are trying to establish their own philosophy. It should be like this, it should be like that. The Lord Buddha came. He was born in a Hindu family. He came and he saw so much of ritualism in everything. There will be yajna, there will be puja, there will be this, there will be that. Then the Buddha protested. Why you are doing all these things? For what you are doing? Do you know why? Majority of the Hindus doesn't know that we never worship the images. Never. Why the South Indian Hindus, they are breaking the coconut? Ask them. Hundreds of them, thousands of them, millions of coconuts they are breaking every day. Ask them. Ritual. You know why? That is the water. It has no form, no shape. You are entering into the temple. Before that, know it for sure, there is no form of the God. He is formless. That is the idea. You go to any temple, they will keep a pitcher and they will be pouring the water over there. Water has no form. I am keeping this form of Vishnu or Krishna or Ganesha, or Durga or Kali or any gods and goddesses. Because I like to see God in that form. It is my creation. So that is the idea. So if you stuck into that, you are not a Hindu. Know it for sure. If the moment you say, do not enter into this campus because we are Hindus, you are not a Hindu. Because the teaching of the Hindu, it says, Ishavashamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena taktena vanjita madhudakasya siddhanam. Only chanting won't do. You have to understand. Everything is nothing but the same God. And who am I to say that you should not come into this? For the security reason you can say, okay, this. But just because I am a Christian, I am not allowed to Hindu temple. The moment you say, you are not a Hindu because you do not know what is Hinduism. So that is the whole Hinduism. There is no differences. The casteism, now we all suffer. Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, so clearly he said, Chatur Varnam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vivadasha. We read Bhagavad Gita, we follow Krishna. But again we are close. Why? Ahamkara. I am telling you, you should not enter. God may allow you, it doesn't matter. I am not allowing you. And then You should not offer this to God, you should not cook that to God, you should not do this to God. Are you above God? How do you know all these things? So this is the thing that Vivekananda broke. That was the Hinduism, very pure, and everyone was welcomed over there. Sarvastaratu Durgani. In Hindu never say, oh, let me be happy. He said, Sarvastaratu Durgani. Let everyone be free from all miseries. Sarva Bhadrani Pashyatu. Let everyone see good, positive thing in others. Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu. Everyone be happy. That is the Hinduism. Let everyone be happy. The moment you say you cannot be happy, then you are not a Hindu. So Hinduism is really very difficult. And one of our great thinkers, he said Hinduism is not a religion, it's a way of living. And that was misunderstood, misinterpreted again and again. The moment you go to talk about Hinduism, oh, Hinduism is not a religion. Who say religion means as a list of do's and don'ts. Hinduism having that. If you have to be Hindu, you have to do this and that. So all these things are there. So Hindus are having two different caskets. One is all philosophy. Another very practical applications. So these two things are there. Otherwise, it's not possible. The philosophy is there, at the same time application. And for the application. So friends, Hinduism means discovery. What is the discovery? Just questioning, doubting, then inquiry. That way, the truth. What is the truth? In a very small sentence, Shankaracharya said, Brahma Shatta Jagan Mitta Jiva Brahmaiva Navara. The wonderful statement. Brahma Satya, only that eternal, that remains. That is the Satya. Satya means not false and truth. It means eternal, Satya. Brahma Satya, Jagat Mitta. But this universe that you see, temporary. Mitta doesn't mean it is not there. It is there, but temporary. Brahma Satya Jagat Mitta. Then it says, Jiva, the living being, Brahmaiva, they are also that same consciousness. Now, Apara. Now, on this, Shankaracharya said, each and every one is nothing but the God, and that is only one God. God means that consciousness. Ramanujacharya came after Shankara. And the Ramanuja said, no, that cannot be. We have limitations. So obviously, yeah, I agree with you. We are coming from the same source, but we are separate. How? Then he said, like a fire and the sparks. The sparks that is coming out, that is also fire. All the properties of fire is there, present in the small spark, but separate from the main fire. That is Vishishtadvaita. Then another philosopher came and he said, no, we are totally different. The God is there, I am here, so completely we are different. Some people thought, that is true, I am telling lies, I am cheating people, I don't have any other good things that in me. How can I be God? So this way all different things were continuing, but we were united. Debating was there. Buddha came, he started visiting and he started questioning, arguing, and people started accepting his philosophy. Shankara came refuting Buddha. Buddha told there is nothing, the Shunyavad, etc., etc. Then Shankara came, he refuted. No, it is not possible. The Brahman is there, consciousness is there. Then Shankara was, in the beginning, he was a staunch follower of that. Everything is nothing but the consciousness. One day in Kashi, after giving a talk, forceful talk in that way, next morning Shankara was going to bathe in the Ganga. And he found a lady is sitting with her dead husband. The dead body is lying on the road in such a way, you cannot go, you have to jump, you have to cross the dead body. And that is not a good omen. Naturally, Shankara told lady, can you please take the dead body in one side so that I can go to the Ganga? And lady told, why don't you ask the dead body to do that? Why should I have to do that? No, I can understand, mother, that you have lost your senses because of this great loss of yours. But how the dead body can move? But yesterday night you were telling everything is consciousness. Why the dead body cannot move? Then the Shankara understood, this lady is not ordinary. Immediately sat down over there, started praising, you are not ordinary. He saw that the Shiva and the Parvati. So that means Shakti is there. Shankara started accepting the Shakti. So afterwards, he composed so many. Friends, I am going to tell you, Hinduism is having varieties. Why? Because openness. And Shankara, he was experimenting on oneness. Then he came afterwards, no, there are Shaktis are also there. It is possible. Ramanuja came, Madhvacharya came, all this. But when a group of people from the Middle East, they came, they were completely different. And they came mainly from the 7th century, and then in the 11th century completely they captured, and all over India they spread it and hold their philosophy, their ideology, their lifestyle, their thinking was totally different. So Hinduism went into a little under the cover. So that freedom, that stopped. Our ladies, our girls are so open. In the Rig Veda, they are telling, now you are educated, oh young lady, and now you are going to marry. That means it was there. And all the proofs are there. So many rishis were there who were ladies. We know that. How come suddenly education for girls became a taboo in Indian society? Because of this. So that period, if we know, and it's a long period, from, we can say, 11th century to 17th, then came Britishers. In the name of religion, they injected a doubt about our ancestors, about the Veda, and whatever in good, they took in their credit. So it is a long 1,000 years. It's a long period. So obviously, this type of thought came in the Hindu society. If a girl is educated, after her marriage, the husband will die. And who will marry that girl? So naturally, there is no education for the girls. And when there is no education for the girls, society go backward. Our Manu Maharaj, long back, he gave this. If you have a son and a daughter, then you must educate daughter first. And then if there is time and you can afford, then the education for the boy. Educate one girl and the whole family will be educated. Educate one lady, the whole society will be educated. This type of words are there in the Manu. Then a group of people, they started telling, no, Manu said, those who are not Brahmin should not read Veda. And the women should not study Veda. And women should not utter the mantra Om. Still now, if you go, some people will be telling, women should work to prepare everything for the puja, but at the time of puja, because that is very difficult to prepare. The preparation is most difficult. And when it is done, you go away. Women should not be there, so we will do. Who did it? How come all these things, it was incorporated afterwards? Now, it was really very difficult for, and very heroic soul, it was necessary to remove these. Then came Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda. So we have to understand in this perspective, the social and historical perspective. When Sri Ramakrishna came, he was also, then we started accepting, we knew that Rama is the avatar of Vishnu. Krishna is also the avatar of Vishnu. Sri Ramakrishna also is the avatar of Vishnu. If you read his biography, you will know that. Now some people, they say, you cannot accept someone as an ordinary human being as God. Who was Rama? Rama was also God. He was also having his father and mother. He was also having his parents and their brothers, his friends and whole family. Krishna was also the same. So they proved that it is possible to manifest the divinity within. Then why not accept that person as a God? As because they are old, ancient, so we are accepting them as God. Why not the modern person who is showing? And what is that God? The definition in the Puranas are there of the God, Vishnu Purana. It says, one who can understand the past, present and the future of every being, he is God. One who is having the control of all the senses and full of love for all people without any discrimination, he is God. So the definition of God means what? We talk about religion, we forget that religion or the spirituality is nothing but the development of qualities. It's not only all these things are nothing but all that ritual we do is not external. But for what we do? We go and admit in the school, we carry the books, we sit in the classroom, we take the notes from the teacher. All these things are external. But for what? Knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, if you don't get the knowledge in the classroom, attending the school is of no use. So sometimes I say sarcastically that when I was at 6 years old, I was admitted in the school, and suppose after the 60 years in the same classroom, before the same teacher, same book I am going on reading, the people will appreciate, oh look at this man, so sincere in the same class every year visiting. Will they? Naturally, when I am coming to this temple holding the finger of my grandfather, and then 60 years after, when I am holding the hand of my grandchild, the same man I am, no improvement, are you a religious man? Think of yourself. What is the religion then? The development of qualities. What are the qualities? The 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, first 3 sloka only. The 22 qualities, develop that. At least 2-3 qualities develop. Then you are a religious man. So all over the world, so many religions, so many, they call it faithfuls are there. They are ready to kill others in the name of that religion. But ask them why. Do you know your own religion? The one lady came to me, I was in Andaman. I know, poor lady, I am so sorry. So she came, perhaps they were asked to go and tell the non-believers to convert them. Sure. Andaman is a very thinly populated place, so it's very difficult to find out people. So I was sitting outside, so she saw me, she came and she gave me a book. Please read this. I understood. I told, but for what? Now you will get peace. I told, see, I am at peace. I am so happy all the time. I can sleep the whole night, no problem. Daytime also I can sleep. So I am happy. I don't have any problem. Now if you follow this path, then you will go to heaven. I told, have you visited heaven? She told, no. How can you promote a place where you have not visited? Maybe there is no electricity. Maybe there is no water supply. Maybe there is... So see, you should go first and check and then come and tell me. So that we are talking like this. So they say, Atha vichara kartabhya. The first line of the Hinduism, Atha, now, vichara kartabhya. You must ask question. Why I am doing this? After doing this, what I am getting? Am I a better man, better person after doing this? That is the contribution of Vivekananda. After the Vivekananda, Hinduism started asking questions. Why I am doing it? You know, when Vivekananda came over here, constantly one question he was asked by these local people, is it true, Swami, that the firstborn child are thrown into the mouth of the crocodile? Is it true? That was the impression of India. All mothers are throwing their firstborn child. Vivekananda sarcastically gave the answer. I am also the firstborn baby of my mother, and mother perhaps threw me into the mouth of the crocodile, but I am so strong and hefty, crocodile didn't eat me. So I have come here in America to give a lecture to you. So he was like that, but he was feeling so sorry. He went back to India and he searched all over. It was 1897, Vivekananda searching a single Indian woman who can speak English. He didn't get anyone. And he wanted to bring one single lady to come over here to give a talk before the American society to prove all those things that you have heard about our ladies are wrong. So this is the thing Vivekananda wanted. He didn't get a single lady in those days. The only one lady was there who could speak, that is Saralabala Devi, the niece of Rabindranath Tagore. But they didn't allow Sarala to come over here because far away place a girl should not go. That was Hinduism when Vivekananda started. And the people, you know that the moment you become a widow, immediately they used to burn the widow. Why? To get the property. Where from it all these things came into Hinduism? People are putting finger into Hinduism only for those things. And wrong things were incorporated because society got corrupted. And some of the people in the name of religion, they took up the leadership in the religion and they incorporated all these things without this. So contribution of Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda after this 1000 years of destruction into Hinduism, we became into the cocoon. We closed it. Here you have a God, Jagannatha. Have you ever questioned why the Jagannatha is not having the hands? How many of you? Every day you go, you are just moving. Then have you ever questioned yourself why the Jagannatha is not having the hands? Remove that cloth and see, Jagannath is not having the legs also. Why? Are the Hindus the idiots? A God is not having the hands, a God is not having the legs. Jagannatha, the Lord of the universe, is not having the hands, not having the legs, and the two big eyes without any eyelid. Terrible. But the Hindus are worshipping that. This is the symbol, know it for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the symbolism we have to understand, and then only you will understand Hinduism. Please try to understand this. Jagannatha is a conception of a wonderful idea. What is that? Tad ejati, tad, tada. It's not he or she, it's the consciousness. Ejati, tadaijati, tad dure, tad antike, tad antarasya, sarvasya, tadu sarvasyasya bhayyataha. That consciousness here, there, inside, outside, everywhere. We need hands to work. God doesn't need the hands. The moment it thinks, everything is done. So there is no hands. We need legs to move. God doesn't need, because it is everywhere, all pervading. So Jagannath is not having any legs. But Jagannath, Lord, is the watchful eye, constantly observing the activities of the being. So he is not having the eyelid. Once it comes down and go up, in the meantime you can do something wrong? No. Everything is watched over there. The Lord is watching you. So this is the Jagannath. You look at it. This is the wonderful conception. So the abstract idea, through the images, it is coming to the Hinduism. We forgot those things. And the Jagannath temple, you go into the Odisha, the Puri, all the pandas are standing over there, very powerful bodies. You will be afraid to go near them? No, 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 no. If you are having a fair skin, you won't be allowed. Why? Jagannatha, who are you to stop? By him? You say that God has created everything, right? Then how is it that I was not created by God? We have a Swami who is from Kashmir. So when he was going inside, no. You are a foreigner converted into Christianity, you are not allowed. Hinduism, you are not allowed. Original Hindus. Then he said, hey, you are original Hindu? Yes. How many chapters are there in the Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita? Oh, that we don't read. Then you are not a Hindu. How many Upanishads are there? Do you know? No, I don't care. Then you are not a Hindu. You know the name of this Jagannatha, how it came? Jagannatha. Then they started telling the story. That is not the thing. Then he went on quoting from the scripture. Then other people said, let him go. So this is the condition. Friends, you are educated people. And you are strong Hindu. Don't enter into the cocoon. It is time now. Have Hinduism from the viewpoint of Vivekananda. So Vivekananda brought this thing, unity in diversity. All Hindus are different in approaches, but they are united. Why? Because we all believe in the Veda. We have 6 different philosophies, 6. Nyaya, Vaishashik and the Vedanta, so many, 6 different philosophies are there. Hindus. But we are united. Why? Because we believe in the Veda. And what is that Veda? Veda. The Veda means knowledge. So this knowledge we must have. 2 types of knowledge. Knowledge of this world that you are having, and the knowledge of the self that you have to strive to get. The knowledge of the self. How you will get? 4 paths are there. You are open to go. I quote Vivekananda, he said, each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest the divinity within by controlling nature. Please note, each soul, it is not Muslim, it is not Hindu, it is not Buddhist, it is not this and that. It is not Brahmana, it is the Kshatriya or the Pariya. Each soul, potentially divine. The potentiality is there. The goal is to manifest the divinity within. The divinity that is within us, we have to manifest. What is that divinity? Love. Unselfish love. That is the divinity. We have to manifest. And how you will manifest? He said, either by philosophy, or by work, or by devotion, or by work, karma. So these 4 paths again, he said, follow one or take all and be free. That is Hinduism. So the Hinduism, only one small group, it is not Hinduism. The Hinduism that the Vivekananda gave the conception, that we have to understand, Hinduism stopped going out for the Hindus. If you are crossing the ocean, immediately you are losing the caste. I was in Andaman. The Hindu soldiers were arrested by the Britishers, Sipahis, after the Sipahi mutiny. And they were deported over there. Britishers didn't kill them. They were there, then said, Britishers knew all these things. But okay, now you can bring your family. You are not allowed to go back, but you can bring your family, you can stay over here. Muslim soldiers were there, they brought their families, and Hindu soldiers' family did the Kriya Karma. Why you know? The moment the society will know that someone from this house has crossed the ocean, the whole family will be again in the in the language of the Punjab, Tankaya, they will be outcasted. That was Hinduism. So foolish. Can you imagine? So we have to understand this. The Hindus now crossing the whole ocean, coming over here, constructing the Hindu temple. If you don't appreciate and accept the philosophy of Vivekananda, you are traitors. That you have to understand. It's a strong word I am using. But the person who has done everything, he was 29 years old, 30 years old young man, he came, he never knew where he is going. India was connected with the Europe, but not with America. The Europe, because the British were ruling there, French, Germany, the Indian people, they used to visit that. America was completely unknown. Only in 1893, when the Parliament of Religion, a few Indians they came to represent the Buddhism, to represent these and that. Swami Vivekananda also came to represent Hinduism. All the religions were invited, including the Brahmins, the Brahmanism of the Keshav Chandra Sens. They were very new, not the Hinduism. They never invited Hinduism. You know why? Because who is real Hindu? So many varieties. So Vivekananda came, almost pressed the door, you can say, forcefully. And because of the God's will, he got a one person, Mr. and Mrs. Hell. The Mr. Hell was very influential. On the 9th September, he reached second time. And 10th September, Mr. Hell took him to different offices. And in America, you know, everything is done. So you cannot adjust. Even in that condition, they forced him to, for 5 minutes only. And he got that 5 minutes to enter over there. And he spoke about the Hinduism. He gave the complete, full idea of the Hinduism. That is the wonderful way he presented Hinduism. He read a paper on Hinduism here in the Parliament of Religion. So that shape of Hinduism was based on knowledge, Vedanta. Veda, Anta. Veda means knowledge. Last knowledge is Anta. And shall we forget that man? That young man who was not having anything? Now we know where we are going. Somebody will be there at the airport at least. I know the destination. He knew nothing. When he was roaming in the streets of the Chicago, they didn't allow him to enter into the hotels. Now majority of the hotels and motels are controlled by the Indians.
Yes.
And Vivekananda was not getting a door open in that. So whose contribution is this? Vivekananda. He introduced America, a supreme power, superpower with the ancient country with Vedanta, the knowledge. So he told, you have to learn the technology and the dedication of the Americans. And then India should, in exchange, should give Vedanta and yoga. The people are suffering in this country because the mind is not controlled. They do not know what to do. And suddenly a young boy, because he is losing, they don't have friends, that way family ties. So obviously something wrong. Take up the gun and kill his own friends in the schools. We have to teach them no. All this freedom. Vivekananda stood over here and said, freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom is the first condition of growth. In America, everybody is free. And tremendous energy in America. When from the Europe, the people are coming, haggard, the heads are hanging on their chest, the American atmosphere whispering, Tom, you can do it. Pat, you can do it. Slowly, slowly they are getting back the self-confidence. After 6 months, the man is going and shaking hands with the President of America. He is just giving in that way encouragement. And that is the encouragement of the self-confidence. Then he said, old religion said, if you do not believe in God in heaven, you are an atheist, non-believer. The new religion said, if you do not have the self-confidence, you are an atheist. That is Vivekananda's religion. If you don't accept, we will suffer. Because the world is completely different. Now, we have to understand this. The spirituality only can help us to survive. And that spirituality gives all this freedom. All those things, the people are criticizing us, particularly all our social standards, like they say that Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, Vivekananda appreciated. Why not? The intellectual people are Brahmins. Whoever, a doctor, an engineer, a scientist, they are Brahmins, using the brain, researching. And those who are courageous, ready to help others, protecting, they are Kshatriyas. Those who are very intelligent in the business, Vaishyas. And those who are helping the whole society with their physical strength, Shudras. In every society it is there. And long back we did it, introduce it in a proper way. Then he said, each is great in his own place. This is Vivekananda. A king can rule the country, but can he mend a shoe? He cannot. A person who is mending a shoe, why I have to look down upon him? He is also earning his own money. This is the new way we have to look. The Hindu should learn this thing. Not to see in that way. Anyone who is doing whatever work, he is so capable, he is doing that. A cobbler can mend a shoe, he may not rule the country. A king can rule the country, but he cannot mend a shoe. Then Swamiji said, each is great in his own place. This is the new Hinduism that you have to understand. And he said a bird cannot fly without two wings. But with one wing the bird cannot fly. So both, the girl and the boy should be educated. And they should give the proper opportunity, same opportunity to make the society move. That is Vivekananda's contribution. And he said, education, education, education. Education is the panacea of all evils. Anything, whatever problem in the society, individual or collective, education can solve. Then he gave the definition of education. He said, I want that education by which one can stand on his own feet. The self-confidence. I am a driver, I can drive, I know mechanism, I can do this thing. So I earn. Recently, in our retreat center, something happened. We had to call the plumber. Then he's saying, in our country, the plumber, how you look a plumber, it's okay. But here the plumber means they have the company, you have to appeal to them, then the time is fixed. And he said, visit, $78. And then every hour, $35. I'm spending, that is very cheap, they say. So then I told the doctor, the lady who was organizing, I told her, so why then you have studied the medicine? You could earn a lot of money. So Swamiji, I never knew, otherwise I would have really. So see this. And he came driving a car, he got down and changed his dress, he went down, he checked, and completed. Just like that, one lady came, American lady, she herself is a doctor, her husband is a heavy truck driver. And without hesitation, that lady introduced, my husband is a heavy truck driver. And you can see the strong body with all the tattoos. And then this lady is a doctor. Can you think of it? So each is great in his own place. So this is the new Hinduism. We have to understand, we have to accept, we have to learn from these people. And Swamiji said, the moment we have developed this word mleccha means untouchables. Mleccha means those who don't belong to me or our caste. From that day onwards, Hinduism started breaking down. We must have to learn. We have to learn. That is why education. And he said 3 stages of education. I want that education by which one can stand on his own feet. Second, he said, man-making character-building education. Not only information, man-making character-building. And third, he said, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. And that is spiritual education. What is that perfection? Samadarshitva. There should not be any differences. The moment you accept a monastic life, you should not be involved into the social activities. Why? The moment you are in the social activities, political activities, you have to shun some people. Then you are not a monk. The fast we offer into that fire, keeping Ganga and Guru and my God as the Shakshi, that from me, no danger be to ought that leave. That is the first pratigya, the first oath that a monk should take. And being a monk, the only two things we should do: dharma palan, dharma shiksha. High moral values you must practice, and then you should also depart that. Without fear, without expecting anything. What is truth, you must tell. What is good for people, you must tell. So that is the monk's duty. That is why Swami Vivekananda, who was a lover of India, used to say, my country, my people, my India. And he said, it is not a country, it is a Punna Bhumi, it is a holy land. When he formed the organization, Ramakrishna Mission, he said the Ramakrishna Mission Swamis, you are monks, and going to be monks, you have nothing to do with politics or social things. You should go and dedicate and guide and give education, but no connection with those things. So we don't give vote or anything. We don't have any differences. Our first organization started by helping a Muslim girl. Among the monks, there are Muslims are also there. Christians are also there. Buddhists are there in Ramakrishna Mission. Our temple is open for everyone. So that is the modern Hinduism that propagated by Swami Vivekananda. Friends, the topic was Hinduism before and after. The vast period, I am just touched that. The slowly deterioration came into this pure water of Hinduism, perennial source of water, that is Veda, that was incorporated with so many other things. Now once again, after the independence, we have to understand these. Within these 70 years of independence, now where is India? Can you imagine? Because of tremendous strength is there. All other civilizations are in the pages of the history. India is thriving. Indian civilization is thriving. But the moment we close our door, the moment we become narrow, we will dry up. So we were ocean. So many rivers are coming and pouring into the ocean. Ocean is a nothing. There's no problem. But the moment we become narrow channel, there will be force of the water, but possibility of drying up. So that's why we have to understand Hinduism from the viewpoint of Vivekananda, where the purity should be there, service should be there, dedication should be there, acceptance should be there, but no narrowness, no negative. Rabindranath introduced Vivekananda in the beautiful words. In him, everything is positive and nothing negative. I invite you to join in that positive ideas of the Hindus. Thank you very much. Please chant with me. Om Shanti. 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 Hari Om. See, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti 3 times. Why? This is Hinduism. everything, there is a why and answer. All the difficulties come from three places. Miseries are coming from three. One is from nature. There may be the bad type of... So, Shanti in the nature. First, Shanti. Second, from the beings all around us. Third, from yourself. Maybe the ill health and all. So, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. To teach our devotees, I always say, put your finger like this. Shanti, then second Shanti, then third Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Adi Dvaivik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik. Thank you.
Om Namo Namo Bhavati Jayamano Nahang Ketursasame Jagre Bhagan Devebhyo Vidadhat Jayan Rajandrama Dirati Dirghamayo Shatamanam Bhavati Shatayuh Purusha Shatendriya Ayushevendriye Pratidithate Shri Vrindevi Nayaka Sameta Devadhiraja Swami Anugraha Krupa Kadakya Balasiddhirastu Punardarshana Praptirastu.
Swamiji, thank you for coming and visiting us at this place. And you probably know, but perhaps may not know, that Swami Vivekananda had a special connection with Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yeah, that gentleman, yes. Yesterday I got those papers. Someone researched on that, and that's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Some of the people in the audience may not know, we did speak about it in 2013 when we celebrated 150th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. But as a matter of fact, he visited only 11 cities at that time, in 1893. During that time, one of those 11 cities was Minneapolis. He not only came once, but he came twice. And we celebrated his 150th birthday, not only in this temple, but also at the very place where he spoke in the Unitarian Church on the hill in Minneapolis. His introduction to Minneapolis was, as you probably know, he landed in Seattle. He took the train going east, thinking that the meeting was in Boston. He was in Chicago, and he was headed to Chicago from there. On the leg of travel between Winnipeg to Minneapolis, St. Paul, he came across a young lady called Mrs. Sanborn, and she's the one who reminded him, or actually told him, the meeting in Chicago was postponed. He did not know till that time. So he decided to go. He did not know where to go. And at that time she said, why don't you come with me? I'll introduce you to a friend of mine who's a professor, Wright, at Harvard.
John Wright.
And that's where he went to Boston. And when he came with the formal invitation in his hand, he lost the papers on the way. And he had to sleep in the railway yard because he did not have a place. Not because he was not invited, but he was invited formally as a Hindu at that time.
No, I'm just, excuse me. John Wright wrote to those people that here is a person, afterwards those papers are there still in our archive. Here is a person who is more educated, learned than any one of us, in all the professors put together. And then secondly he wrote, and when asking for credential from him to speak about religion, it would be like asking the sun, where is your credential to give the shining?
That's
so
correct.
that was that.
That's it. But he had to take the papers to go in the meeting.
To the particular person,
Right,
the
right.
address, he lost that address.
Right. He actually, he had to sleep in the railway yard, and he was wandering without knowing exactly where to go.
Yeah.
And at that time, Mrs. Hale did find him from the
Yes.
top and invited. So I think the point was, there was a connection between Minneapolis, St.
Yes.
Paul and Swamiji, and we feel very close with him about it. And I think he certainly rejuvenated the Hindu philosophy, which from time to time has been rejuvenated by many scholars. So obviously we tend to remember the scholars in the modern times because that is closest to our timeline. And for that, we certainly respect him greatly.
Yes. Very good. Thank you.
And the Swami Vivekananda sat finally because he was thinking that he will die that day. There was no food, no drink, and he was exhausted. Finally, he chose a place which is a church. Church was closed. So he sat on the outside of the church on the stairs and trying to meditate so that he will die. And that time miracle started happening. Exactly opposite, crossing the road, exactly opposite building, that American lady, Mrs. Hell, they were very rich people, and she came for some reason to the window and saw this man sitting like a sun over there. And usually unknown man, the peculiar dress. So obviously she was supposed to call his people to go and ask and drive that man out from there. But instead, she opened the door, crossed the road and asked, "Sir, are you a representative of the Parliament of Religion?" Because in those days, different type of people were coming. So she knew. And she was hosting some of the representative of the Parliament. Swamiji said, "Mother, I am, but I don't have any credential." And the one person wrote me this later, but I have lost the address. She told, "My husband is also a member of the same committee." All people were there in different type of committees. So this is Mr. Hell. Afterwards, Swami Vivekananda gave them the name Mother Church, Father Pope. Mother Church, Father Pope, the Mr. and Mrs. Hell. So that family we should really remember all through. They protected him like a child all the time. And he was different. Swamiji, he never cared. When he saw that the young boys are skating, and he told, "Mother, I like to do that." Then she told, "Okay, but will you do outside?" No, I am a famous man now. So many people, they know, I cannot do it. I should do inside. Then he started practicing on the carpet, and he damaged the carpet. Still then, they didn't say anything. And then they purchased a very good shoot for him, shoot and shoe and all those. Then there were 4 young girls there, the 4 daughters, and they took the measurement and then they put that tie and everything. Swamiji was very happy. Now they said, "You look like now the civilized man." He went and he saw that some people are rowing on that Michigan Lake. Immediately he said, "I like to do that, I like to do that. I know more rowing." But in the Michigan Lake, it is very difficult. And the canoe they hired, the small canoe, he said, he tried to do and then capsized and went into water. So somehow he came out. That costly shoot, all in that. But those ladies didn't say anything. "No, that's okay." Like that, they loved him, completely unknown. Still. So we are really grateful. Unfortunately, that particular house where Shanti lived, that was so, except in that whole line, all buildings are as it is from the time of Swami Vivekananda, except that building where we lived. Swami Ishatmananda, he collected some of the mementos from that building, just kept it in Ganges.
Remember going on helping them build that temple?
And why don't you come to Ganges? We will be celebrating 2018. 2018.
I waited till 2000 years, celebration. Swami Vivekananda was arranged.
2018 you must come. That is the 50 years of Ganges.
If I get there in Ganges town at that time,
Please
I'll
do,
apply with you.
because we like to get the association of those people who were there connected. We have lost that. There is no list in our operation. Those who were there. So 50 years of that, so many people were associated. See, one place means what? Association, no? There's so many people, they donated, they came, they served. So all these things, the emotion, that is the main thing, the connection. Please come. And I will take your address from mom. So I will invite you. Come and speak over there.
I just have a question, Swami. It's conflicting sometimes when, the kind of information the children are getting when they do the history class and what is being taught to them about Hinduism is really disturbing. So our own children, what we know, and I'm saying we don't know much, but what we've been hearing and trying to learn about Hinduism and how what has been taught at school is really, really disturbing. And we don't know as a parent and as a community, what is it that we can do to educate the school system, because children go there for knowledge and they have been fed wrong knowledge about your own culture, which we don't know how to fix this problem.
See, this is a real big trouble, obviously. So, but still, now you have a sizable community, Hindus over here, very big group. If you write properly, this is the basic of Hinduism, the salient point of Hinduism. Don't misunderstand those things, the practices that the people do. Recently, the CNN, they were telecasting one that
believe.
Yes.
of the, and that is, see, that just for another publicity. I don't know that whether they are really interested or not. That is not Hinduism. There's only a little part of Hinduism where they say, and that too, why these people they behave, because in the Tantra, there is a section of Tantra, they say each and everything is nothing but the God. So naturally, we should not have to hate or shun anything. So that is the practice they do. For us it is very terrible. Now again in the Hinduism, Vedanta is there, very pure. Again in the Hinduism they say there is a theory and practice. We say each and every soul is nothing but the manifestation of God, right? That's the truth. Each and every soul is the manifestation of truth, that God. Now, if burglar coming or the thief is coming to your house, how you are going to celebrate or handle that person? Going and embracing and offering flower at his feet? Oh, thief, please come. No, you have to call 911. So that is the way you have to handle. So one is practical, another is theoretical. Theory we know, but for the practical reason, these are the things. Someone has to take up this thing. Nowadays, they are in the website also about the Hindus. A lot of people they are writing. Confusion is not in them. Confusion is among us, among the Hindus. Some people are thinking this is only Hinduism that we are following. There is the problem. So,
I have a question. Before the question, what you said is right, because every different place you go, who is a Hindu, principles of Hinduism, it's written differently, different places. So somehow it will be nice to have it put together and have similar ideas. But my question was, in this talk, you said Hinduism does have its do's and don'ts. And Gita does have some sections of do's and don'ts. Is that what you are referring to? Or are you just summarizing different Rig Vedas or whatever and saying these are do's and don'ts? Or is it summarized in certain area?
see, Hinduism has so many different rivers, you can say. There's a beautiful sloka is there like that. So many different rivers are flowing. Some are straight, some are in a crooked way, but all are going to the ocean, and the ocean is the Hinduism. But the rivers are also a part of Hinduism, right? So here this temple mainly for the Vishnu, And in the Lemont Hindu temple near our ashrama, they are mainly for the Sri Ramachandra. Another temple is there, Balaji. So like these all. Parts of Hinduism. That's not total. Now when you become a Hindu, what you are supposed to do? First, you have to accept Hinduism, the philosophy. Different philosophies are there, any philosophy you can accept. The moment you accept this philosophy, see that young man came, he was chanting, and when I said it's a gift, he said, no, Ashirvad. They will notice that. So that is, whatever I am giving to you, it's not a gift from us. It's the blessings of the God. How it is possible? Faith. So first thing is faith. Second, you are accepting that particular path. And they have different type of rituals. That do's and don'ts means those things. You have to fast on that particular day. You have to wear this type of clothes. You have to put the mark in this way. So these are the particular path that you have to follow in that way. So that is the Hinduism. And in the Hinduism again, you cannot criticize others. That's the broader part of the Hinduism. This particular path we are following, and I am accepting all those things that they are doing in their fashion. It's like the school, and let me tell you, like the school, if you go to a particular school, they have a discipline. So that discipline, when you are going to that particular school, the badge will be different, the bag will be different, books will be maybe different, and their curriculum must be different. But ultimately you are becoming educated person, graduate from that knowledge, in that subject. That is Hinduism. So do's and don't means, to become a Hindu, first you have to have the faith in the existence of God. Then you have to have the respect for the religious people, all belonging to all faith and caste. And then for your personal development, you have to choose any particular method, any method. That's all. Yes.
So does that mean that atheists are not Hindus?
Who?
Atheists, people who do not believe in God.
No.
I mean, if belief in God is a requirement to be a Hindu, then obviously people who do not believe in God are not Hindus.
Swami Vivekananda's word, if you have the confidence, it's not the ego. Confidence in yourself, you are. Atheist means they are not accepting the God in the common term, common sense. But they believe themselves. If they are believing themselves, they are believing others also. If they are believing others, what actually they are believing? This body? The bone and the mass of this thing? What they are actually believing?
Yes.
Ultimately you are going to that knowledge that there is consciousness. So this very moment you are not very clear, the moment they say there is no God, that means the traditional way the people thought the God is on the, and the way whenever we talk about God, we always look at the sky. God may be here, God may be everywhere. There's a beautiful story you must be knowing, that Prahlada and his father. And the Prahlada, when his father tried to kill, but God was protecting, the story goes in that way. Finally, frustrated, the father told, where is your God? He said, everywhere. Everywhere? Is the God in this pillar? His own, that building, the pillar was there. He said, yes. See the story. Then the father came and kicked in that, it broke, came out the Narasimha. That means God is everywhere. So the atheist means what? I don't believe in the God that you are pointing out to there, but that confidence, that consciousness, which is all pervading, I have faith in that. So that is the thing.
Could I just one other thing? For example, now take a terrorist. They have their God. They have tremendous confidence. They kill themselves and obviously others. So are they also Hindus?
No, that is the Hindu means You are not supposed to harm anyone. In your not only behavior, in your thought too.
Right.
The terrorist can never be accepted as a Hindu, and they cannot be accepted as a human being because they have lost their the thinking capacity, conscience of mind. They have lost it. Say, have you seen the image of Goddess Kali?
Yes.
We feel afraid, but if you see all the human skulls
Yes.
as a girl, and people, oh my God, this lady, and the Christians, they actually propagated that, oh, you are worshipping Goddess Kali? How come? Because a lady not having the clothing and so dirty and going and killing the people, and not only that, so cruel she is keeping those heads and keeping as a girl, she didn't kill anyone. It's only a story. Goddess Kali, the heads that is hanging, is the symbol of knowledge. When we say a man is very intelligent, we always show the head. Head is the symbol of knowledge, intellect. And all knowledge in the nature, Prakriti. And that is why she is keeping that head in a girdle, that means so precious. So she is keeping it. And why the lady form, mother form? Because everything is producing out of this nature. So the mother form. Why black? Because we do not understand everything of that nature. So many things are still unknown. So the black. The moment you put up all the light, this very known thing will be unknown to you. So the black. So the black color only for that. So this is the symbolism of the goddess Kali. We misunderstood. Some people told something wrong. So Hinduism has been expressed through symbolism. If the modern people can understand the symbols, you will understand the Hinduism. The Ganapati Bappa, the Ganesha. Why he is having what's called the elephant head? So many stories are there. But actually elephant is the symbol of vastness, big. The God is big. And he is Ganapati. Look at the name. Gana means the mass. And Pati means the master. So he is the master of the all. So he is huge, he is big. And that is why that head is like the elephant. So hugeness, just symbol. And nothing else. Goddess Durga is having 10 hands. Dasha Bhuja, they say. Why 10 hands? 10 different directions. So everywhere the God is there. So many arms are there. And also she is holding. That means all power in her. And if you look at the Durga image, there is a snake is there. Durga is holding. That means inside that reptiles also, that goddess Durga is there. That means that consciousness. And there is a rat and then the lion. That means in the whole gamut of animal kingdom, consciousness, goddess is there. And there is an owl and also the peacock. Then is the lowest and the best birds. Inside that gamut of the birds also. That consciousness. So the Hinduism, the intellectual people, what do they do? Only sign, isn't it? They'll have some sign and you have to understand that. When you are driving, you should learn the signs also. They cannot mention these and that. There will be a sign. Immediately understanding the sign, you are driving properly. There's a sign showing like this. That means this lane is going to march over there. Anyway, this lane is going to march over there. Some person will stand over there all through. In the microphone he will shout, and then you have to lower down the glass and, hey, what you are telling? This lane. All the idiots will do that. There's a sign and people understand. So that's why Hinduism developed so wonderful way. Only they understood, only this sign will be sufficient. And the highest signal, that sign is Omkar. A-U-Mo. That is the symbol of all the Hindus. It is not the O. O-U-Mo. It is A-U-Mo. Now if you pronounce, you see, you don't need the tongue and the lip, but the sound is coming. My tongue, my lip is all quiet, but the sound is coming. This is the only sound without taking the help of two. If you like to clap, you need the two hands. If you like to make the sound, you need two. Any sound you make, you need two. I am using my tongue and my lip so the sounds are coming out. But this is the only sound. It doesn't need any help. So this A-U-Ma, that is called Omkara. This Omkara afterwards, the Greek philosophers, they accepted it. And that was accepted by the Christianity afterwards, and they called it word. In the beginning there was word, in the Bible they say. And word was with God, and word was God. The same Omkara. So when we say, that is in this way. So this is really, we have to understand, and that's why I really feel that you should develop one place. This is the external of Hinduism, or rituals. But the philosophy of Hinduism, if you forget that, then the external thing will lose its all meaning. Why you are doing this, we do not know. Each and everything has a meaning, each and everything.
Swamiji, this is not a Vishnu temple.
Oh,
This is called Hindu temple.
Hindu temple.
And we have
The
every
main deity is the Vishnu.
The reason for that, the majority in the community, when we took the votes, they wanted Vishnu as the central deity.
Deity.
But that's not a Vishnu temple, it's
No,
a
no.
Hindu temple.
Hindu temple.
It represents all form of deities, represents north, south,
And
west,
this
and east.
is wonderful in America, because all the gods and goddesses in the one place. And one American lady came, she is doing little research. Look, one thing I am really confused, so many gods and goddesses, who is the main god or goddess? Actually, all are main gods and goddesses. So, suppose you go to Ganesha and you think Ganesha is your god, Ganesha is your main god. And then she was asking, why they don't fight? There are so many there are so many varieties. I don't, that is the beauty of Hinduism. Unity in diversity. Really, we also don't know. Sometimes jokingly, I like fun. So sometimes I jokingly say, if you go to a Hindu temple and go bowing down every time to all the gods and goddesses, your morning exercise will be over. So many times you go. But they are not fighting. Why? The same priest going to all the gods and giving and chanting mantra. So unity in diversity, that is our strength. And I have a dream. I don't know whether this dream will fulfill or not. As the French people have given a gift to the Americans and that way to the world, the Statue of Liberty, standing over there constantly propagating the fraternity, freedom, all this. India should give a gift to this world and unity in diversity. There should be a home, not a museum, a home of harmony, where all the major religions should be depicted, and where from the religion came, what is the salient points of the religion, what is the goal of the religion, why a Hindu is wearing like this dress, Muslim is that dress, Buddhist is different dress. All these things, if it is there, this problem will be solved. Even the teachers will also understand what is what. The Hindus are also counting the beads. Muslims are also counting the beads. Catholics counting the beads. The Buddhists also counting the beads. Then where is the difference?
Swamiji, if you
You can please sit.
no. If you come here, stay here till 2 o'clock. This will be the 7th year in a row that will be celebrating in this temple upstairs, one in all and all in one. The people from all faith traditions will join. We are taking the youngsters. They've been trained for the last 1 month by a scholar who was a citizen of the Twin Cities a few years back, Ramki. He's come to San Francisco and we've been teaching them music. So we're taking different languages from different regions of India, singing devotional songs, and that's what we'll be celebrating upstairs.
Wow.
And people from different faiths will come because this is basically all in one and one in all.
One in all.
So we're already doing it. I think the thing is, symbolism is very important.
Very, very.
But far more important is in practice, and that's what we do. Thank you.
So I was thinking that if we could make a place where the major, so all religions not possible, hundreds of religions, major 8 religions is depicting, all will have their own the hall, and that religion will be displayed, and the books will be there, scholars will be there to explain, and there will be a hall, big hall, where very frequently different type of discussion. Now that even the Christianity is there inviting us, so we go and we discuss, but the discussion, one group is there, all the time they will call me, Swamiji, please come. The discussion is on sin. I told you in Hinduism there is no sin. We consider mistakes. I have done a mistake, that there is no sin. What do you mean by sin? I made a mistake, I go to my father and say, Papa, I am sorry, I won't do. And I am not promising that I won't do, I will try not to do. So like that we go to God and say, I am sorry God, but I will try not to repeat it. Once again. And if my father, he is going on granting me that way with the love and affection, trying to guide me, will not the God will do that? What is sin? There is no conception of sin in Hinduism. Mistake.
Swamiji says sin to call someone a sinner.
Sinner. So it is a sin to call a man sinner. The very strong word. So that is the basis of the Christianity on that. That what's called, that is called original sin. And the same thing, they have only given the name. When afterwards the explanation became, original Christianity was excellent Christianity. The first few years it was wonderful. Though anyone helping others, they used to call them Christians. Because the Romans, they were ruthless people in those days, not now. So they used to, suppose someone, a limb, they are going, they are passing, they will be just poking and bleeding and all these things. They used to enjoy people bleeding, dying, and Christians secretly used to come and serve them. Even the people having different type of diseases, the Christians used to go and serve them. That service attitude still there is fine in the Christianity. But slowly, in the 5th century particularly, the one, that Roman king converted himself into Christianity. And from then onwards everything changed. The Constantinople. And he said, what? There's a past life? I don't believe. So remove it from that. And he started spreading Christianity as he was grabbing those areas land. King, he is going, capturing. I am Christian. Each and every one should be Christian. Convert them. If they are not, cut them. Kill them. Christianity slowly, they lost their real, because of it was propagated by the kings afterwards. And then the leaders of the religion, they were also came in contact with the politics. They also lost their originality, spirituality. Muslims, same thing. Buddhism, it is Lord Buddha, he said that you should not worship me. You should try to develop your own self. But the King Ashoka came the same way. King Ashoka started sending his son and his daughter, and wherever they went, all people accepted Buddhism. Just because they went and they accepted, because of the Ashoka. People used to afraid of Ashoka. And by that way, the original spirituality in Buddhism was lost. Without making people educated, if you are converting them forcefully, what happens? One lady got converted into Christianity, but she used to come to a Kali temple. Some of the other ladies told, hey, now you are a Christian, why you are coming to Kali temple? What is there? I have become a Christian, but my 14th generation worship Kali. I am not leaving Kali. So, Christianity, Kali and all those things. So, another story is there, one man, for anything, Vishnu, Vishnu, like that he used to say. Well, some people developed a habit. He was converted into Islam. Then when they took him for namaz, he said, Vishnu, Vishnu. Arey, why you are uttering Vishnu? Arey, why? The Vishnu is up to this. And the Hazrat Muhammad has come very low, so let all the Vishnu go out, then only Hazrat Muhammad will come. You have to wait. For so many years I was only worshipping Vishnu. Now you have forcefully converted me into Islam, it will take time. So these stories are like that. Unless and until people are educated, they will never understand what religion is. So that's why we, the Hindus, stress on education. So that is the main thing. Almost everywhere, after 2000 years, the present Pope, he said, there are good teachings in different religions, we have to listen to that too. After 2000 years. But still this, slowly, the mindset is changing. That is the influence. Each and every one is having something good. From that we have to learn. And if we see the bad things and then discard totally, that is wrong. Hinduism has so many bad things too. Bad practices. And if you see that and immediately say, oh, that is Hinduism. No, that is not. Good people are also there. I think we have to take up. Because one Swami in Boston is a very learned man. Swami Tyagananda is my friend. So Tyagananda will be the best person if you contact him. And he was telling to develop some material so that can be introduced without any biased attitude. That one book he was showing me, one gentleman has written about parliamentary religion, then that Hinduism, and Hinduism Swami Vivekananda, and immediately he wrote on 2 lines only. Swami Vivekananda came, he introduced Hinduism, he introduced yoga. Not Hinduism. He introduced yoga, and even the 3rd line is, as a, how much?
Generated the industry of 4 billion industry of yoga.
$4 billion industry of yoga. So, Swamiji never taught this yoga. Now these people are practicing. Swami Vivekananda introduced yoga means union. Union with God. These 4 paths, Jnana, Karma, Bhakti and Dhyana. The Dhyana is completely different than Hatha Yoga. And we do not practice Hatha Yoga at all because whole mind goes into body. You will find the Hatha Yogi people, they are thinking about their body. Oh, why this nose is not? Immediately something they will do. Constantly. All mind. No. Body we have to maintain, and because with a healthy body you can do lot many things. But the body is a very temporary thing. After my death, people will burn it. Now if it is warm, then immediately I will see, oh, is there any AC, air condition, etc. But when something goes out of this body, then when the people put this body into the fire, body will never say anything. It's just like wood and the inert thing. But we give importance to that particular consciousness which is inside. The huge beast, elephant, everybody is afraid. Something goes out of that elephant, it is dead. That thing which is having so much of power that it can hold that elephant and each and every being, that is the. And finally, let me give you one example. I'm going on talking about the consciousness, what is it actually? To give an example, see, so many varieties of lights are burning over here. Some are tube lights, some are bulbs, some are these, some are that, some are yellow, some are red, so many. Each and every bulb has a name. If you go to a shop intending to purchase a bulb and say, give me a tube, and you'll be confused totally. So it has a name and it has a form. And it has a particular activity. White color, it will come. The red bulb, it will give only red light. Bulb is different. So the name and form and activities are different. But in all these things, one thing is common. Electricity. And similarly, an elephant and a human being, name and form and activities are different. But one thing is very common. Elephant is also having that consciousness, the man is also having the consciousness. So that consciousness we are talking about. And Sutre Manigana Iva in the Bhagavad Gita actually is a gist of the whole Vedanta. So there it says, Sutre Manigana Iva. You see the monies, all that wonderful jewelries, but inside the jewelry there is a thread. Then only all the monies, all the jewelries are hanging together. And that consciousness is the thread that is binding each and every one. And Vedanta talks about that particular consciousness. Thank you. I'm really very happy there's so much of interest. You know, the people become in big group where there is entertainment. But when there is enlightenment, so naturally is very big. So there are two things are there, entertainment and enlightenment. And religion you will find is always have prasada and the music and this and that. That is entertainment clubbed with enlightenment. But ours is Vedantic is a pure enlightenment. So very few people they come. But whoever comes, and if they are sincerely learning it, getting it, they really benefit by this. Because it is the knowledge of life.